Well, hello again, friends, and welcome back to Roll Call. And for the usual audience, you know how fired up I am to be here with you. And for our new audience, and there are a bunch of newcomers this week, welcome, because this is the platform where we dig deeper into the principles that our team has introduced to you by way of our keynotes, breakout sessions, workshops, and the Top Gun Teamwork Program. And if you and I have not yet had the privilege of meeting, my name is Robert Teschner, call sign Cujo, and I'm the founder and CEO here at Team VMAX Group. And it's an honor to be in your virtual midst today. And today we're going to dig into the power of being glad to be here. And that's an expression used at the end of the Blue Angels team debrief that we show in our longer form workshops in the Top Gun Teamwork Program. There's a clip on YouTube from a Blue Angels team from a few minutes ago. I mean, it's been a while since the clip was filmed, but the ethos that's captured there is 100% relevant to everything that we're learning about. And one of the things that's really cool about the video is at the end of the self-identification of deviations from the standards, where pilots are self-identifying, self-criticizing for failures along the way, they're saying, quote, "I can fix all these things and I'm glad to be here." And it's a really powerful statement. I can fix all of these things, self-identified mistakes, and I'm glad to be here. And I'm highlighting it because it came up in conversation this week during Top Gun Teamwork. One of our students highlighted the fact that though she had seen this clip now for the second time, it was the second time that it stood out to her that these pilots, very elite pilots, all specifically hand chosen to fly these aerial demonstrations to inspire a new generation of young men and women who want to come join the service. It struck her the second time through that as they were debriefing to win, the pilots were manifesting gratitude for the opportunity to do so. And they weren't being grateful for being highlighted for the wonderful things that they were doing. Because we didn't see any evidence of anybody being highlighted for the wonderful things that they were doing. No, they were grateful for the opportunity to spend twice as much time debriefing the mission that they just flew than flying the mission that they flew, which is so different from the ethos that so many people bring with them into the workforce. And it was illuminating. It was illuminating to her. It was illuminating to us as a cohort. It's illuminating to us here in Roll Call because it's so different from what most people manifest. And can we agree that most of the time when we confront, by way of it's a very simple question maybe, hey, did you send out the thing that you were supposed to? Or hey, did you make the phone call that you said you were going? Or did you whatever? The response is instantly defensive. I'm defensive, defensive, defensive. It's not, well, it wasn't my fault. I didn't know that I was supposed to do that. Oh, here's my justification. Why? How dare you ask me this question? It doesn't feel good to be confronted this way. I didn't appreciate the tone. Blah 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 blah. Instant defensiveness. And what might that suggest? A glaring lack of gratitude for the opportunity to, as a team, learn our way into a better tomorrow. And that's a tough thing to overcome. But I think it's a leadership responsibility to do so. So why do the Blue Angels have a group of people that get together after every mission and they demonstrate gratitude for the opportunity to self-identify mistakes, challenges, weaknesses? Why is that so? And I think the short answer is that every one of these pilots understands on a daily basis how fortunate they are to be in the positions they are. And by the way, the positions that they're in require constant hard work. So make no mistake, it's a tough thing to be on that team. And while it may look glamorous, it's neat to go to the air show and to get the whole air show vibe and to experience all the cool things. And you get to watch the maneuvers and they look so cool. And then afterwards you see the team and they're looking sharp in their uniforms and they're sitting there signing autographs. And you're like, man, they've got it so good. In reality, it's a grueling experience. You usually are on the team for 2 years. It's a hard process of getting selected. It's a hard process of getting cleared to fly. And then once you're on the team, you're on the road nonstop. If you've got a family, see ya. Because you're just not going to see them very often. And you're out there and you're constantly on. You better always be perfect. The standards are incredible. And if you do anything wrong, everybody across the planet will see it and critique you for it. It's tough. You're under the spotlight all the time. It's a physically and emotionally grueling experience. So why are they glad to be there? I don't know. Well, one of the reasons is that they got to achieve their ambition. Every one of them volunteered to be part of it. And so they got what they asked for, and they're appreciative of that. They also know that somewhere across the planet in harm's way is one of their peers who didn't get selected for the team and is now doing a night landing on an aircraft carrier in bad weather, coming back from a combat mission where they almost died. In comparison, the grueling experience of being on the road constantly pales in comparison to the, hey, I was able to avoid two enemy air-to-air missiles, two surface-to-air missiles, and I came back and landed on a moving platform in the middle of the night and scared myself half to death, and now I get to go do it again tomorrow. Like, in comparison, this is nothing, right? And they understand that. They're 100% aware of it. And the list of things that they're aware of that highlights to them why it is that they ought to be grateful for what it is that they get to do, learning how to be closer to perfect the next time, goes on and on and on. And they confront it daily. And they've actually adopted the ritual of manifesting their gratitude after they've self identified their mistakes. How brilliant is that? Now, let's contrast that with us. Do we, on a daily basis, and I'm talking to you and me as leaders, in addition to our teammates, do you and I recognize on a daily basis how grateful we are to be where we are? And do we, on a regular basis, contrast our experiences with somebody who we know has got it substantially worse? And if not, why not? And why aren't we confronting the fact that we've got it so good here, no matter how difficult life is? And then that ties to an overall concern with, are we aware of what it is that we're doing, the impact that we're making in the work that we're doing? And if not, why not? And why wouldn't we bring that back to the forefront? What am I talking about here? Team purpose. The meaning that we derive from the work that we do, the impact that we know that we're making in doing that. Why wouldn't we bring that to the forefront? And then why wouldn't we, when we recognize on a daily basis how fortunate we are to be where we are, and contrasting with others who don't have it nearly as good as we do, who wish so desperately that they could be in our positions, armed with a sense of purpose, why wouldn't we be grateful for the opportunity to debrief, to learn how to improve ourselves into a better posture next time? What I'll tell you is, as a team lead, and I've been in the business space now for a long time. I've been involved with leading my own businesses, plural, and I've been coaching and consulting with other business leaders for a long time now in all kinds of industries. I will tell you the norm tends to be people are triggered defensive. I think the reason that they're triggered defensive is that they don't appreciate where they are. They're not grateful for the position that they have. Oftentimes, it's what's in it for me. And that's manifested by when confronted, they say things like, well, I didn't appreciate the tone. I didn't appreciate the approach. I didn't appreciate the fact that I was highlighted. I didn't blah, 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 a bunch of lack of appreciation. I think the real problem is we're not appreciating the fact that this is special. And somebody else out there wants to be here where I am right now. And if we lose sight of that, it becomes all about me. And when it's all about me, it's not about the good of the team. And that's where the team suffers. And so that's the challenge. And we as leaders have to rise to meet that challenge in order to create this same kind of ethos that the Blue Angels have. And I'll tell you this to those who are currently collapsing to the rule of self-limiting beliefs. If you say we can't get to that ethos here, you are correct. Because I guarantee you, you won't. Because you've already written it off and say it's an impossibility. So I just want you to know, if you're currently caving to self-limiting beliefs, you're going to be right. For those of you who think that this might be hard, it might be hard to create that same Blue Angels ethos. You're also right. But for those of you who try, despite how hard it is that you think this might be, I salute you. Because you're the kind of leader that I would follow. And you're the kind of leader that your teammates need. So, friend, go forth, give this thing your best. Maybe start with, and we've talked about this in previous roll calls, start with getting a copy of Find Your Why and maybe take a day off with your team to identify your meaning, the impact you're making in doing the work that you do, so that with armed with that purpose and a sense of we've got it so good here, we're so fortunate to be here, we can create this environment where people are grateful for the opportunity to learn their way into a better tomorrow. That, friend, is a worthy ambition for this weekend going into next week. So take courage. It's hard leading. We're rooting for you though, and I personally look forward to seeing you again here next Friday.